Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to the channel and welcome to this review of the Adeptus Mechanicus Codex. So Games Workshop was really nice and sent me one of these and I thought that I would try to open it. Open. Please. Please open. We got this. I can open this. I promise. I am good at it. See? We got it. Enough violence always solves every problem. I'm pretty sure an Imperial scholar said that at some point. The tactical application of violence. And I think that's what the Adeptus Mechanicus stand for perfectly. That's a joke, obviously. So right off the bat, we have this cover art that I absolutely love. Because instead of the traditional silver and red of the Adeptus Mechanicus, we have this almost gold/brass look to it. And we got all the horrific body mutilations in the background mixed with machines and everything that I thoroughly enjoy. I love the Adeptus Mechanicus for this. They're always both, in a way, extremely futuristic cyberpunk / like techno / steampunk cowboy robots. And it's weird to describe them like that, but it absolutely makes sense for some reason. So this is an older picture of, I think this was the High Lord for a little bit of time. Let's just make sure we get this good on camera. Sorry, I am just going to constantly check. The Red Planet. Ooh, that's cool. Okay. Ooh, this is Warzone Metallica. Oh, that's cool. They have that in here. I'll have to do some reading up on that. Oh, they have all of it in here. They have Belisarius Call has his own section. We got Agripinaa. This is my favorite. Agripinaa has always been like my personal favorite because this comes from Battlefleet Gothic. This comes from the Gothic sector. And Agripinaa is a Forge World that is actually super important and gets lost in Battlefleet Gothic. This was the 12th Black Crusade when Admiral Spire beat him. And it's super cool because a lot of these stories hint at a special captain from that time period. And it's a vague reference to Spire because technically he's not canon because he's from a video game, but he's also canon because Games Workshop is weird like that. We have... Ooh, Stygies is here too. There's Riza and Metallica. Metallica is like the best. Oh wow, they gave us a whole bunch. These ones just look like clowns, I'm sorry. They look like jesters, actually. That looks kind of beast. Demos. Oh wow, they have a lot of them in here. Okay, but we're not here for lore or for me to gawk at miniatures because I can do that all day. I just want to keep gawking at miniatures. I can literally do this all day. Nope. The rules. So this is what we're here for. Ooh, there's a rogue trader in here. Anyway. So we got our Battleforge rules, our army rules, our match play rules, our crusade rules, our data sheets, a war gear section, and points and rules reference. As per all codexes, they are set up like this now. And we have detachment abilities here. Gain the Forge World Dogmata's ability. Adeptus Mechanicus detachments, excluding auxiliary support attachments. Interesting that they include that because that's really interesting. Gain the Knights of the Cog ability. That's a good reference. I like that. I like that a lot. Gain the Forge World Dogmatas, Knights of the Cog. Troops and Adeptus Mechanicus detachments gain objective secured ability. They gain OBSAC. Forge World Dogmatas, all Adeptus Mechanicus units other than Servitor units, which is really important. With this ability, all have the models gain a Dogmata. If every unit in the detachment is from the same Forge World, this Dogmata gains depends upon which Forge World they are from, as shown on the following pages. Ooh. Okay, so we got a bunch of different Dogmatas. I'm really excited about this. So we got some Warlord traits, Stratagems, and Arcana Mechanicum. Cool. I'm guessing that's their relics and things. So let's just skip right to it. Mars, which is typically the best and was just the best in the last one. So I'm really curious what they're going to do with this because Mars used to be able to pick 2 doctrines and just use them at all times. Or roll for them. But anyway. Masters of the Forge. Scutari units with this dogmata gain the Canticles of the Omnissiah ability. Ooh. So we got to find out what that does, which is on page 84 and 85. So let's go ahead and see what that does already. 84 and 85. Boop. Oh, there's a lot of them. So if you want to pause this here and take a look at these, the first one is, while this canticle is activated, this unit counts as receiving the benefits of light cover, which is good, +1 to their armor save. While this canticle is active, each time a model with this unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the strength characteristic of that attack. Nothing changed there. While this canticle is activated, each time a combat attrition test is taken for a unit, ignore all modifiers. That's actually pretty decent. I like that new wording. Each time a model in this unit would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, roll a d6 on a 5+, that wound is not lost. If this unit has the refuse to yield dogmata, that wound is not lost on a 4+ instead. That's actually really decent if you know what kind of army you're going up against. Benediction of the Omnissiah. Reroll 1 hit roll, reroll 1 wound roll, reroll 1 damage roll. That's amazing. Invocation of the Machine's Vengeance. While this canticle is activated, each time an advance roll or a charge roll is made for a unit, roll 1 additional d6 and discard the lowest result. That's really cool if you want to do a melee army. While this canticle is activated, each time a melee attack is made against a unit, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. Okay, so those are all pretty decent and all very similar to what they already had. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out. Alrighty, let's continue. And that only affects Scutari units, so that's good to know. So it won't affect your AdMech, because there's the Scutari and then there's the AdMech, or something like that. They're very close to each other. Warlord trait is in here. If you're in your command phase, you can select 1 friendly Mars Cult Mechanicum core unit within 6 inches of this warlord. If you do so, then select 1 canticle, page 85. This can be one that has already been active for your army. Until the start of your next command phase, both this warlord and that unit benefit from the selected canticle instead of the one that is active for your army. Ooh, so the canticles are used kind of like the Devastator doctrines and things like that. The Red Axe. Mars model equipped with an Omniscient Axe replaces it. It's a melee weapon with strength +2, so typically strength 6. AP -5. Damn, you're really killing it. Damage 2 each time the bearer fights. Make 3 additional attacks with this weapon. That's 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks on average. Damn. And then they got their stratagem, which I like that these are all right here. Super easy to get to. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase when a Mars unit is selected to shoot. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, an unmodified wound roll of a 6 inflicts 1 mortal wound to the target in addition to any normal damage. If the unit has a power rating of 11 or more, this stratagem costs 2 command points. You hit your freaking Castellan robots with that. You double tap them if they still have that ability. So yeah, that's going to be kind of insane. Again, if you want, and I'm going to try to make sure there's no glare or anything, go ahead and pause the video, get a picture of this, and let's continue. Lucius is Solar Blessing. Each time a unit with this dogma characteristic... wow, I'm dumb. Each time an attack with a damage characteristic of a 1 is allocated to a model with this dogma, add 1 to the armor saving throw. Oh, wow, that is ridiculously good. Now, does that actually stack if you're receiving the benefits of cover? Because it's 2 separate instances of getting +1 to your armor save. Ooh, that's something I would argue. And then the other thing is add 3 inches to the range characteristic of ranged weapons that model with this dogmata are equipped with. I like that. That's a 15-inch flamethrower, by the way. Warlord ability. In your command phase, select 1 Lucius core unit within 9 inches of your warlord. It's funny that it's 9 inches. I'm going to giggle at that because I have a childish sense of humor. Until the start of your next command phase, each time an attack is made against that unit, an unmodified wound roll of a 1 through 3 before that attack fails. Oh, so it's transhuman physiology as a warlord trait. Oh, that's kind of cool. And then they have their arcane mechanicum, the solar flare. I'm imagining they do it just like they do in Dragon Ball Z. And they shout solar flare and it becomes one of the most useful attacks that nobody counterattacks with. Lucius model only. Once per battle, so this ought to be big. In your movement phase, the bearer can use this relic. If it does so, the bearer unit and up to one friendly Lucius core unit within 3 inches of the bearer can be removed from the battlefield and set back up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away. Oh, so they use the... It's the orb thingy that the Necrons use. That's kind of cool. More than 9 inches away from enemy models. If the 2 units are set back up on the battlefield using this relic, both units must be placed wholly within 6 inches of each other. Oh, that's cool. And then they got the Teleportarium. Use this stratagem before the battle during the declared reserves and transport step. If you are playing in a mission without this step, yada yada yada. Select one Lucius unit, excluding a vehicle unit from your army. You can set it up in the Teleportarium instead of setting it up on the battlefield. If you do so, in the reinforcement step of one of your movement phases, you can set up this unit more than 9 inches. Yeah, so essentially it comes in from Deep Strike, which can be pretty devastating. Ooh, wait. You can only use this stratagem once unless you are playing a strike force battle, in which case you can use this stratagem twice, or an onslaught battle where you can use this 3 times. So it's interesting how they limit that instead of being able to just keep using it because it's prior to the battle. So these guys can throw in a whole bunch of devastating units at your opponent really quick. Like turn 2, you can surround your opponent or get to objectives or deploy scramblers. Like, these guys deploying scramblers kind of sounds really cool, especially if they deploy it in a ruin and they get that +1 to their cover save. I really, really, really like that. So then we got Agripinaa, my favorite. Each time a model with this dogma makes a ranged attack that targets a unit within half range, the armor penetration characteristic of that attack is improved by 1. Okay, so half range +1 AP. Each time an enemy unit declares a charge against the unit with this dogma, if this unit is not within engagement range of an enemy unit, it has the hold steady or set to defend. It can hold steady or set to defend. Okay, that's actually really cool because you can get either +1 attack or 5-up Overwatch. In your command phase, select one friendly Agripinaa core unit within 6 inches of your warlord. Each time a model in that unit is destroyed by an attack made by an enemy model, roll 1d6. On a 4+, you do not remove the destroyed model from play. It can, after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks, either shoot with one of its ranged weapons or fight as though with the fight phase. This is actually a really cool ability because it allows like a Castellan robot to punch back. Actually, it might not be a Castellan robot. It might be Agripinaa core unit. Ooh, let's see if the robots are core. I doubt they are, but I still want to check. Are you core? No, it can't be them. Can it be the troop choice? Okay, what about you guys? Huh, you don't have core either. You guys? Did they forget core units? Core. Okay. It's supposed to say it on the second line. Whoa, these guys are counted as bikers? Oh, that's so cool. Bikers, Cataphron servitors, Cataphron destroyers. Look at that. They're not core units. These guys are, which is interesting. Servitors aren't. Wow, a lot of you are not core. You guys are core. You guys are core. 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 Not core. core. So the jumpy guy's a core. You're core for some reason. You're not. That's actually interesting. So now it actually depends, or you have to debate how you want to use this if you want to use it. I think that's fine, but this one is just a little bit better. I really like that. Because it doesn't say, because it says each time a model with this dogma makes a ranged attack. So assuming that the Castellan robots can get that, because they do have the Tentacles of the Omnissiah. Ooh, that actually sounds really cool. If they can get that and have 18-inch, like, AP -3 weapons, that sounds really good to me. I still think Castellan robots are just so good. Okay, let's take a look at Agripinaa models. Only at the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy vehicle unit within 18 inches of the bearer. Until the end of the phase, the bearer gains the following abilities. The Eye of Elysium aura. While friendly Agripinaa core units or Agripinaa Cataphren servitor units are within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack roll, the target is that targets a selected vehicle unit, you can reroll the wound roll. That's interesting, I guess, but honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. It's okay. Not a lot of people are running vehicles right now, so it's not great. Use the stratagem before the battle. Select one Agripinaa Cataphren servitor unit from your army. Add 1 to the toughness characteristic of that model in that unit. A unit can only be selected by the stratagem once. You can only use this stratagem once unless you are playing a strike force battle, in which case you can use this stratagem twice, or an onslaught battle, in which case you can... So is this a once per battle? You can only use this stratagem once. So you only get that once, but Cataphren servitors, I think, are toughness 5. Popping them to toughness 6 might actually be really good. Yeah, the T5 going up to T6 is really, really good. Okay, so Agripinaa is pretty good. Then we got this one, which is each time a combat attrition test is taken for a unit with this dogma, it's automatically passed, which I guess that's really good. Each time a model with this dogma would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, roll a d6. On a 5+, that wound is not lost. Okay, so they're getting around that quite a bit. Mantra of Discipline, or Mantra of Discipline, however you want to pronounce it. If you're in your opponent's charge phase at the start of their heroic intervention step, select one friendly Graia core unit within 9 inches of this warlord until the end phase. If that unit is within 6 inches horizontally and 5 inches vertically of any enemy unit, is eligible to perform a heroic intervention as if it were a character. Each time a model in that unit makes a heroic intervention, it can move up to 6 inches. That's insane. That can be really good if you're running Electro Priests and Cataphren Destroyers with punchy arms. Don't know why you built them with punchy arms, but you did. Or the Sulfur Hounds could be pretty good with that. There's a lot of ways to make that good. Okay, let's continue. Tech Priest model only. Add 3 inches to the range of the bearers or abilities to a max of 9. Each time the bearer uses an ability in your command phase that specifies a range, you can add 3 inches to the range of that ability to a max of 9. Steel Mine Iron Logic. Use this stratagem in your opponent's psychic phase. When an enemy psyker attempts to manifest a psychic power within 18 inches of these dude guys, roll a d6. On a 4+, that psychic power is just denied. Oh, that is so good. Okay, so cool thing about this and cool lore segment with this, psychic powers, especially from demons and like abominations, like anything chaos driven. One thing that you can do to beat chaos is actually hit them with a complex mathematical equation, and that's typically how AdMech resists demons so much, because they are just logic engines. So it's really hard to possess these guys because they're so crazy about their technology. Then we got Stygies 5, 6, 7, 8. Stygies 8. Each time an attack is made that targets a vehicle unit, excluding the unit with the core keyword. With this dogma, if the attacker model is more than 18 inches away, it is treating as having the benefits of dense cover, which is really interesting. Each time a ranged attack targets a unit with excluding vehicle units without core keyword. With this dogma, if the attack is more than 12 inches away, it's considered to have the benefits of dense cover. Okay, that's cool. Their infantry and their tanks can get dense cover. Each time a unit with this dogma declares a charge, none of the targets of the charge can hold steady or set to defend. Interesting. Their warlord trait, at the start of the first battle round, you can select up to 2 friendly Stygies units wholly within your deployment zone. Remove these units from the battlefield and set them up anywhere on the battlefield that is wholly within your deployment zone. Okay, so a redeployment, which is interesting. Probably not the greatest. Messiah's Hand. Stygies model only. Once per battle, at the end of the fight phase, you can use this relic. If you do, so roll 1d6 each time roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 12 inches of the bearer. On a 2 through 5, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 6, they suffer d3 mortal wounds. I'm sorry, that's just good. That's just really good. Also, I love his hand cannon. So the next one is use a stratagem during deployment. Select 1 dude guy unit from your army. When you set up the unit, it can set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from the enemy deployment zone and enemy models. That's actually really decent. Checking how much time we have left on the camera. Then we got Riza, Metallica, and then we move on to your custom forge worlds. Ooh, custom forge worlds. We have so many stratagems to go over. Oh, there's so much stuff in here. Ooh, there's ways to oh, that's so cool. There's ways to level up your dudes. There's so much in this codex to go over. I always love this artwork. Okay, we're still going to try to get through all of this. So, red in the cog and claws. Each time a model with this dogma makes a melee attack, if it has made a charge move, was charged, or performed a heroic intervention this turn, add 1 to the attacker's wound roll. Add 1 to the charge roll made for units with this dogma. Okay, so that's really good. They add 1 to their attack rolls, or wound rolls, so they wound on essentially +1. And they make 1 additional, add 1 to the charge rolls made for units with this dogma. So a 9-inch charge becomes an 8-inch charge. At the start of the fight phase, select 1 friendly Riza core unit within 6 inches of the warlord. Until the start of the next fight phase, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, the armor penetration characteristic of that attack is improved by 1. So AP -1 goes to AP -2, AP -3 goes to AP -4, and so on and so forth. Then we have, with a Volkite blaster only, this weapon replaces a Volkite. Heavy 3, strength 7, AP -2, 2 damage. And each time an attack is made with this weapon on an unmodified wound roll of a 6, it inflicts 2 mortal wounds in addition to normal damage. Holy crap, that's a pistol actually worth it. And then we got the Plasma Specialist. Use this stratagem, which I love because they are Plasma Specialists. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase. When a Riza unit is selected to shoot until the end phase, each time a model within that unit would make an attack with a plasma weapon, see page 112, add 1 to the damage characteristic of that attack. That's really good. Those plasma freaking breachers are looking really good. Metallica, look, they got an arm. That's cute. Models with this dogma do not suffer the penalties of hit rolls incurred for firing assault weapons in the same turn that they have advanced. Models with this dogma do not suffer the penalties to hit rolls for moving incurred to firing heavy weapons as in the same turn that they have moved. While an enemy unit is within engagement range of a unit from your army with this dogma, then each enemy unit is treated as being below half strength. Ooh, that's actually interesting. That's actually really good, because they could just move and fire all their heavy weapons without caring, which means you can walk around with the giant, oh my god, the arquebus, and it becomes a deadly weapon. At the end of your movement phase, select one enemy unit within 12 inches of your warlord until the start of your next command phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the attacker's hit roll. Damn, that's really good. Okay. Metallica model only. The bearer is equipped with the relic in addition to their other weapons. So this doesn't actually take away anything. Strength times 3. So if they're strength 3, goes to strength 9. If they're strength 4, goes to 12. AP minus 3, 4 damage. Each time the bearer attacks, make no more than 1 attack with this weapon. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, add 1 to the attacker's hit roll. So this thing is going to be hitting on 2s. And then they have the crazy war gear. Use the stratagem in your, or their stratagem. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase when a Metallica unit from your army is selected to shoot. Select one enemy unit, excluding a vehicle unit, within 12 inches of this unit, of that unit, until the start of your next turn. Have the movement characteristics of models in that enemy unit. That enemy unit cannot fire Overwatch or set to defend. I like the fact that they can just get nerfed. That's really, really, really good, especially if you hit Drukhari with it. Please hit Drukhari, GW. I can't last past first turn. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but I will try to get this book nice and close so you can pause it and take a screenshot of all of these. Boop. Boop. There you guys go. But this is for creating your own Forge World. Choose a Forge World that does not have an associated dogma. Okay, so these are for making your own dogmas. Alrighty. Then we have all of their stratagems. So, oh, there's a lot of, how many stratagems? Not too many. So the first one is use a stratagem in your fight phase when an Elector Priest unit from your army is selected to fight until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that unit would make an attack, an unmodified hit roll of a 6 automatically scores a wound on the target. That's actually really good. The next one is Dune Striders. Use a stratagem in your movement phase when an Iron Strider engine or Cerberus unit from your army is selected to advance. Each time a unit advances, do not make an advance roll. It moves 6. The type characteristic of heavy weapons models in that unit are equipped to change to assault. Models in that unit do not suffer the penalty to hit roll incurred for firing assault weapons in the same turn as they advance. I feel like if you're playing that, you're going to be playing the Forge World that just negates that anyway. So I don't really see that as too good. Okay, Assassin. Use a stratagem in your fight phase when a Zakarian unit from your army is selected to fight. If the unit made a charge move, was charged, or performed a heroic invention this turn, then that unit fights as... Then until that fight is resolved, add 1 to the attack characteristics of models in that unit. That could be really good for... Again, Electro Priests are like your only real close combat units that I can think of. Ooh, you can get the Forge Worlds, Skitarii. Oh, they would need to be updated. They don't have core rules either. I don't know what you would consider your close combat guys aside from the Electro Priests. I guess these guys, but then you're taking these guys and they're kind of terrible. I guess that's really it. Okay. Electromancer's Wrath. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase. Select one enemy unit, excluding a vehicle unit, within 12 inches of Electro Priests. Take Electro Priests, apparently. Roll a d6, subtracting 1 from that unit. Rolled if it is a character. On a 2 through 5, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 6, it suffers 2 d3 mortal wounds. I'm sorry, what? Select one enemy unit, excluding a tank, and just suffers 2d3 mortal wounds. Why would you not bring Electro Priests? That's just amazing. That's honestly amazing. You can just clear out 6 people from a squad with that, with just a lucky roll. And at minimum, you're taking out 2. Keyword. We're being rolled for a character. On a 2 through 5, the enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 6, it suffers 2d3 mortal wounds. So just d3 mortal wounds on average is 2 regardless. So, damn, that's good. Machine superiority. Use the stratagem in the fight phase. When a Scutari unit from your army is selected to fight until the end of the phase, add 1 to the strength characteristics of models in that unit. This is cool with the Forge-World ones that have the spears, because you can bring their strength all the way up to 7. I think it's 6. I could be wrong. It might be 5 going up to 6, but that's really good on them. Elimination Volley. Ooh, this is the really good one. For the Cataphron Servitors, units from your army is selected to shoot until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets a unit within half range, an unmodified hit roll of a 6 automatically wounds the target. That's not as good as it was. Data Spike is now a stratagem. Use this stratagem in the fight phase. When an Adeptus Mechanicus Tech Priest unit from your army is selected to fight with, select 1 enemy vehicle unit within engagement range of that model. Roll a d6. On a 2 through 5, it suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 6, it suffers d3 plus 3 mortal wounds. So at minimum 4 mortal wounds for a vehicle. God, they know how to take apart vehicles. Use the stratagem in any phase. When an Adeptus Mechanicus vehicle model in your army would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound. Until the end of that phase, each time a model would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, roll a d6. On a 4+, it's not lost. So you took 1 damage from a psychic power. For the rest of the turn, you don't care. You have a 4-up ignore. Tech Adept. Use a stratagem at the start of your command phase, or at the start of your movement phase. Select 1 Adeptus Mechanicus Tech Priest model from your army. If it is your command phase, this model can use its machine focus to or awaken machine ability on 1 additional time this phase. If it is your movement phase, this model can use the Mastery of Machines ability 1 additional time that phase. I don't know what either of those abilities do, but we're going to find out soon enough. Machine Spirit Resurgent. Use the stratagem in your command phase. Select 1 Adeptus Mechanicus vehicle unit from your army until the start of your next command phase. If a model is considered to have its full wounds remaining for the purposes of determining what characteristics on profile to use. Really good for your tanks. Really good for your Onaga Dune crawlers. Data Blast Auto Sermon. Okay, use the stratagem in your command phase. Select 1 Adeptus Mechanicus unit from your army that's within 6 inches of a friendly Tech Priest model, and select 1 Canticle, page 85, that has not yet been active for your army. Until the start of your next command phase, that unit counts as having that Canticle being activated for your army in addition to the currently activated one. Ooh, so you can give them 2. And that can apply to every one of the different seps, so it's not just the Ultramarine one. Archaeotech Specialist. Ooh, that's really cool. Use the stratagem before the battle when you are mustering your army. For your Warlord... Oh, this is the extra relic. Okay. Locom. Use the stratagem before the battle when you are mustering your army. Blah, 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 blah. Select 1 Adeptus Mechanicus. Okay, so this is one for the additional Warlord trait. Use the stratagem before the battle when you are mustering your army. And this is the one that gives... Ooh, what do you give? I can barely see you. Models in your army that has the keyword. Select 1 Scutari model from your army that has the word Alpha or Princeps in their profile to determine... Oh, it gives another Warlord trait. Wait, what? Oh, that's cool. They have multiple things for Warlords. Use the stratagem before the battle. When you are mustering your army, select 1 Scutari unit from your army that has the unit... Ooh. And you can give them a relic. So this is like the Space Wolf thing where you can give everybody a relic. Okay. Use this stratagem at the start of your... at the start of any phase, select 1 Castellan robot unit from your army and 1 unit from the available... Oh, wait, what? Unit from your army and one of the available protocols found on its datasheet. That protocol replaces the one that they are currently active for the unit until the end of the game. Okay, so it just switches their protocols. Holy cow, there's still so more to go through. Acquisition at any cost. Use a stratagem at the start of any morale phase. Select one objective marker on the battlefield. Until the end of the phase, each time an Adeptus Mechanicus unit from your army takes a morale test, if it's within 6 inches of that objective marker, it's automatically passed. Really clutch ability. Use the stratagem in any phase. When an Adeptus Mechanicus vehicle model from your army is destroyed, do not roll to see if it explodes. It automatically does so. Really good for running things into your opponent. Use the stratagem in the end of any movement phase. Select one Sakaran unit from your army that is wholly within 9 inches of any battlefield edge. Remove that unit from the battlefield. Okay, so this places it 9 inches away. Deeply Sunk Talons. Use this stratagem in your opponent's movement phase. When an enemy unit, excluding a vehicle, is selected to fall back from the unit if it is an enemy unit within engagement range of any phalanx, I'm not going to try to pronounce that name. On a 2+, a unit... Oh, it just can't fall back on a 2+. That's really good. Although that means you have to take those guys, and those guys are kind of crap. I read this as tequila. That's where we're going with now. It's 2 command points to use tequila. Use this stratagem in your opponent's charge phase when a Cerberus Riders unit from your army is selected as the target for a charge. If that unit is not within engagement range of any enemy units, it can make a normal move. It can literally run away. That's amazing. Until the end of your opponent's phase, that unit cannot fire Overwatch, set to defend. Your opponent can then select a new target for the charge. That is hilarious. They just yeet themselves out of there. I really like that. I really like that a lot. Okay, so Crushing Weight. Use this stratagem in the charge phase. Select one Iron Strider. You're not going to use this. Or Castellan Robot unit from your army. Now you're going to use this. Finishes a charge move. Select one enemy. Maybe not. 2+ it suffers a mortal wound. It's whatever. Electroshocked. What do you got? Use the stratagem at the start of your fight phase. Select one enemy unit, excluding a vehicle or a monster, within engagement range of a Cult Mechanicus core or Cult Mechanicus character unit from your army. Until the end of that phase, the enemy unit is not eligible to fight until all other eligible units from your army have done so. That is so good against Drukhari right now. That is like stupid levels of good. Charging me with witches? You're going last. Okay. Use the stratagem at the end of your turn. Select one phalanx unit from your army. Remove it from the battlefield. Another redeploy. They have a lot of these for redeploying, and I really like this because that just kind of tells me you want to deploy scramblers with this army, since you could just deploy things all over the place. This is for an archaeotech thing. I don't really want to get into that. The Mechanicus unit from your army is selected to fight with until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack with a taser weapon, an unmodified hit roll of a 5 scores 2 additional hits. That's amazing. Unmodified hit roll of a 5. I think they mean 5+, because that is so weird. It's just a 5. Like, I'm reading that correctly, right? Like, look at that. Hit roll of 5 scores 2 additional hits. So 6s only score 1 hit. Rules as written. I don't think they meant that, so let's just move on. Core unit is not within engagement range of an enemy unit. That unit can shoot as though it were your shooting phase. Ooh, I love out-of-phase shooting. Always good. So anything that allows my core units to shoot one more time, I'm taking it. 2 command points, worth it. That one affects the Archaeocopter. Arc Grenade units. Use a stratagem in the shooting phase. When an Adeptus Mechanicus Arc Grenade unit from your army Wait, what has an arc grenade? I don't even know, so I can't really comment on that if it's good or not. Use this and... Oh, there's the smoke launchers. Enriched rounds. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase. Select the Adeptus Mechanicus unit from your army is selected to shoot. Until the end of that phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack with a... Sorry about that, minor tech problem. Okay, so really good. And let's move on. So now we have our holy orders, which is always really fun. And these are ways of upgrading your different types of priests and everything. This is very similar to the upgrades that you see for Chief Apothecary, though I swear to gods, if they release another Chief Apothecary for another army, I'm going to lose it and have a brain aneurysm, because I hate seeing those things on the battlefield, because they are so ungodly broken, it's not even funny. But let's take a look at these really quickly. And again, if you want to pause and just take a nice screenshot of all of this, and we'll get all of that, all of that, all of this, all of this, and then all of this. Try to get both of these at once, then both of that. Just so you guys can get the nice screenshots and everything and make sure that you have them at home. Okay. Holy cow, we have warlord traits and everything in here. Wow, we have a lot of different things. Ooh, the Scutari and Tech Priests have different warlord traits and different relics, and that makes sense. That makes sense. Emotionless Clarity, something I wish I had right now. In your command phase, select one friendly Forge World Cult Mechanicus core unit within 6 inches of your warlord until the start of your next command phase. That unit is eligible to charge, even in a turn in which it fell back. I don't see that one as useful. Masterwork Bionics. This warlord has a 4+ invo save. That's really good. Each time an attack is allocated to this warlord, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic. That's pretty decent. Very greedy, but pretty decent. First-hand field testing. Use this strategy. When you select this warlord trait, select one weapon this warlord is equipped with, excluding relics. Add 1 to the strength and damage characteristics of that weapon. That's really good. Combined with the other abilities in this codex, that could actually be pretty devastating. Necromechanic. Each time this warlord uses the Mastery of the Machine's ability, this model... the model being repaired regains 3 lost wounds instead of D3. That's ridiculously good. Especially if you want to keep your Castellan robots alive. I'm going to keep talking about Castellan robots because they're the greatest thing forever. Use this when you select this warlord trait, select one friendly Forge World Cult Mechanicus core unit from your army. Then it gains the following ability. Orbitable Teleportarium. So teleporting. It looks like, yeah, it's just teleporting. Deep striking. The last one, use at the start of the fight phase, select one friendly Forge World Mechanicus core unit within 9 inches of this warlord. That unit, until the start of the next fight phase, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, you can reroll the hit roll. It doesn't seem that good. It's kind of weird that a lot of these are meant for close combat. I'd rather do the shooty shoots. Shooty shoot seems the best one here. Actually, the Necromechanic is the best one here. Like, that one's hands down the best one. Now, the Scutari Warlord traits. So, in your command phase, select one friendly Forge World Scutari unit within 9 inches of this warlord, or select one friendly Forge World core data tethered unit on the battlefield until the start of your next command phase. If that unit is performing an action, it can make a ranged attack without that action failing. That's ridiculously good, especially being that you're going to be deploying scramblers quite a bit with this army. The fact that you can teleport your guys using that one ability, teleport with them as well, and then make them do a ranged attack on top of everything else, that's just great. Battlesphere Uplink. In your command phase, select one dude within 9 inches of this warlord, or select one friendly Forge World Core data tethered unit on the battlefield, yada yada yada. Gains one of the following abilities. Heavy weapons in this same turn. Oh, whoops, I better read this. Do not suffer the penalties to hit rolls incurred for firing if they moved, sold weapons in the turn that they had advanced. So they don't get the minuses. Program to retreat. In your command phase, select one friendly Forge World Skitarii core unit within 9 inches of this warlord, or select one friendly Forge World core data tethered unit on the battlefield until the start of your next command phase. Units that are eligible to shoot in turns in which they fell back, which is really good. So far, I'm seeing this one as kind of ridiculously overpowered. I like this one. Achievement unlocked. I'm going to read it as that. Archive engravement. Whatever. In your command phase, select one friendly... See, what you guys see is the book nice and clear. What I see is a giant glare right here. In your command phase, select one friendly Forge World Skitarii unit within 9 of the Warlord, or select one friendly Day of the 10th unit on the battlefield. Units that, until the start of your next command phase, if that unit is within engagement range of any enemy unit at the start of the fight phase, it can fight first that phase. Okay, again, you don't really want to be locked in close combat, but okay. So the next one, in your command phase... Dude guys, tether units on the battlefield. Each time a ranged attack is allocated to a model in this unit, it is treated as having light cover. If a model is entirely within a terrain feature, it has the infantry keyword. Add one to any armor saving throw made against that target. That's okay, but you're already gaining the +1 for Ruin, so that's +2, which you can't do. As of the Messiah, in your command phase, select one blah 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 or data tethered unit on the battlefield until the start of your next command phase. That unit can advance and charge rolls made for that unit. You can reroll advanced and charge rolls for that unit. So they all seem like garbage except for the multitask Cortex. I really like that one. So I'm really liking these three as Warlord traits. Holy cow, there's going to be a lot of these, so we're going to try to go over them as quickly as possible. Model with Power Fist only. This relic replaces it. It's... Ooh. Strength ×2, AP -3, 3 damage. Each time the bearer fights, make one additional attack with this weapon. Each time an attack is made with this weapon hits a vehicle, it inflicts 1 mortal wound in addition to any normal damage. It actually doesn't have the -1 to hit like the Power Fist does, so that's just a really good relic. The next one is, each time the bearer would lose a wound, roll a d6. On a 5+, that wound is not lost. That's really good. Also has this ability. In your command phase, select one friendly Forge World Core unit within 3 inches of this model until the start of your next command phase. Each time a model in that unit would make a ranged attack, you can ignore any and all rolls. Oh, you can negate any of the, you can ignore any or all hit roll and ballistic skill modifiers. Okay, that's actually really good. So if you're shooting through terrain and everything, you don't get the -1 to hit. The next one, the Skull of Eldar Nokia. That's what I'm reading it as. At the start of your shooting phase, roll a d6 for each enemy vehicle unit within 12 inches of the bearer. On a 2 through 3, it suffers a mortal wound. On a 4 through 5, d3. On a 6, it suffers 3 mortal wounds. Again, Admech hate your vehicles. Get over here, Raiders. We're going to murder you. Models equipped with Radium Serpenta only. This relic replaces it. Range 24, Assault 3, Strength 4, AP -2, 2 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, an unmodified hit roll of a 4+ automatically wounds a target. That's really good. So that can actually be really useful against like heavily armored or very hard to kill individuals. It's actually really good against people who have cracked transhuman physiology because you're not rolling to wound them. You just automatically wound them. Model only, the bearer's service skull uplink ability is replaced with the following. Replaces it. And let's try to make sure that I'm still on time for this so it doesn't just cut out again. They got a lot of weapons that just replace a lot of the bearer's standard weapons. It's kind of interesting. So, make 3d3 additional attacks with this weapon. Like this one. Strength +2, so strength 6. AP -1, 1 damage, but you make 3d3 additional attacks. So, at minimum, you're adding 3. At max, you're adding 9 attacks. A tech priest can mow through an entire squad of infantry by themselves. There's a lot of cool things to go through here. Okay. And then we got chapter approved rules here for their missions and everything, and I'm just going to let you read these. So here they are. Here's the first one. Second one. Again, if you want to get these, pause the video. Okay, let's go on to the next page. We get the Crusade rules. I am going to skip the Crusade rules because I don't play Crusade just yet. I really want to, but again, non-consistent opponents. And then we get the data sheets and everything, the canticles, which we did go over, and they're really, really, really good. The doctrines imperative. Ooh. Improve the ballistics characteristics of a model in the unit by 1. Oh, these can be really good. Weapon skill. Reduce ballistic skill characteristics of this model by 1. Ooh, I don't like that. Oh, that's cool. They give you a +1 and a -1 for each one of them, and then a special ability. Oh, that's really, really, really cool. I like that. Now, let's see what they did to Belisarius' Call. Movement of 6 inches. Weapon and ballistic skill 2+, strength of 5, toughness of 6, wounds of 8. So I was expecting 9 wounds. Attacks 4, a lot less attacks than I thought he would. Leadership 9, 2+ save. I expected a 2+ save. So he's got a solar atomizer, his arc scourge, his mechadendrite hive. I love the fact that it's called the mechadendrite hive. Each time the bearer fights, it makes 2d6 additional attacks with this weapon. Okay, that's just free attacks. And then he's got his omniscient axe, or they got it, because Belisarius' Call doesn't identify as he, identifies as they. And he's also one of the few transgender characters, because in one of his lives in his book, The Great Work, he lived as a woman. And now he lives as non-binary, which is kind of neato mosquito. There you go. Some representation, a horrific tech priest. Everything that the LGBT wanted. Sorry, that's a horrific joke, and I do apologize. We do have the Manipulus here as well. He didn't really change too much from what I see. Got the Tech Priest Dominus, and again, with those crazy-ass weapons, these guys are going to be really good. But only 3 attacks. Strength Toughness of 4, which is really good. Okay, and there was a lot of changes to weapons here. I don't see too many, unfortunately, because I don't play a lot of AdMech. I do apologize. If Sterling was with me, he'd be able to go through a lot of this stuff and tell you all the differences. So we do have the Marshal. Now, the Marshal is from 30k, which is kind of cool to have a Marshal here. So I'm really curious what his abilities are. So, let's see. He's got his Radium Serpenta, which is 18 inches, Salt 1. Strength 3, AP nothing, damage 1. Chime in the back is big his weapon. An unmodified hit roll of a 6 automatically wounds a target, which is really good. Ballistic skill of 2+, weapon skill of 3+, strength toughness of 3, wounds 4, 3 attacks. Leadership 8, he seems like they seem like a very weak HQ choice, but I might be missing stuff. In your command phase, you can select one friendly Adeptus Astartes. One friendly Forge Worlds Qatari unit within 9 inches of this model. You can select one friendly Forge World Data Tether unit anywhere on the battlefield until the start of your next command phase. That unit ignores the... Ooh. Oh, he can ignore, or they can ignore... where is it? It was right after this. They can ignore the negatives of these. Okay, that's really, really, really good. Okay, Skitari Data Tether, we've already read that. Servo Skull Uplink. was within units within the of this model. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll wound rolls of 1. Really good. And has a 5+ info save. He's a really good buffmander. Like, honestly, he's pretty solid. And I think he's pretty much the other thing that's in here that's really changed. Arc rifle is now AP -2 with D3. Okay, sorry about that. My phone died halfway through recording this. So going over some things in here that I did notice is that the Cataphront destroyers and breachers are bikers. I don't know why, that kind of blows me away. They're also Adeptus Mechanicus and not Scutari, obviously. Anyone who knows the difference between the two would know this. But it's always worth pointing out for a lot of their different abilities only work on Mechanicus units, and a lot of their abilities only work on Scutari units. Yeah, these guys are pretty much the same thing. It's kind of, these guys are actually really good for no reason, and I feel like these are going to be a sleeper unit. Like, no one's going to expect a whole bunch of dirt cheap characters, like servitors. Like, I think they're like stupid levels of cheap, aren't they? Where is it? I want to say they're like dummy cheap. This is weapon profiles. It's got to be right after weapon profiles. Melee weapons. Yeah, they're an elite choice. So let's see. Yeah, servitors are 4 points per model, and the heavy bolter is 10 points. So you take these guys, they're 14 points each with heavy bolters. They have 36-inch range, hitting on 5s, but it's still a ton of shots that they're throwing out. I think that these might be useful. I'm just putting this out there. They might be useful. Oh, and if they have if they're near a tech priest, they have a 4+ ballistic skill. So that's even better, to be honest. I like them. I really like servitors. I think they're definitely worth the 19 points you're paying. 4 + 10, no, 14 points you're paying. Honestly, I really like these guys. Super easy to make, super cheap to make, because all you do is buy a guardsman squad and then just glue a weapon to them. And honestly, I'm just digging them. I really thought Electro Priests were Adeptus, were Scutari. Huh, I am wrong. Adeptus Mechanicus, Cult Mechanicus, Forge World, they have all of those keywords, and they're even core units, but they don't have anything else there. Their weapon is now just AP -2, 2 damage, which is really good. The Electro Priests, which I still think are the better ones, scores 2 additional hits on 6s. Ooh, the other ones might be better. Well, these ones got a gun. That's Assault 3 and scores 2 additional hits per shot. And don't they have 2 of those? This unit can be between 5 and 15 models. If this unit contains 16 or more, it has power rating of that. You can go up to 20 models in this squad. Holy crap, that's actually pretty insane. Like, if you deep strike these guys, that's kind of insane, and you can do that. Like, that is a thing that these things can do. They can just teleport across the battlefield. So they're not bad, especially in giant numbers. I think their staff might be a bit better, because it's Strength 5, AP -2, 2 damage, versus Strength 5, AP -1, 1 damage, but also getting a shot might actually be a little bit better. Okay, so what do? After this unit has finished a charge move, select one enemy unit within engagement range of this unit and roll a d6 for each model in that unit. Whoa, what? Hold up, this might be super cool. After this unit finishes a charge move, select one enemy unit within engagement range of this unit and roll a d6 for each model in that unit that is within engagement range of models in this unit. For each 6+, they suffer a mortal wound, which could be 20. That's a very big if. So those types of abilities always chip off 1 or 2 mortal wounds, which is pretty decent. Each time a model in this unit would lose a wound, they have a 5+ feel no pain. This unit destroys an enemy unit for the first time. This unit Until the end of the battle, add 1 to rolls made for this unit's voltaic blast ability. Okay, that can wound on 5 pluses then. Or they gain a 4+ info. Ooh, they don't have their 4+ info base. Oh, they have a 5+. Okay, so these ones gain a 4+, which is really good. And these ones have that same ability for the Volgeist Blast, but they have 2 different. Fanatical Division, which is the 5+ Feel No Pain. Each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack, it can ignore any and all hit roll and ballistic skill modifiers. Okay, so it's hitting on 3s with those shots. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's really good. So they're both pretty good, but I honestly think the staff is a little bit better. Getting that 4+ ballistic skill just seems better in my opinion. Cybernetic Data Smiths are always good. They help out everything. The Skitarii Ruststalkers and Infiltrators look like they haven't changed much. The Power Sword got its +1 strength, which is good. We had that before, but still, it's always good to have it. The Blades got the +1 strength, which is Neato Mosquito. The Riders, I don't think changed too much. I think that they're just 1 attack went to 2 damage, their revolver. The Sulphur Hounds went to 12-inch range for their flamethrowers. Ooh, they ignore cover. That's really cool. Anything else that I really notice? Oh yeah, their las cannon is just ridiculously cool. They only have like 1 of these in the army, but it's strength 9, AP -3, D3 +3 damage. It makes it like the best las cannon in the game. I really like these things, las cannons. I think they're really good. And they are a core unit too, so you can get the rerolls on it. And it's a Skitarii unit on top of it. I think Iron Striders might actually see a lot of play now. Because of that las cannon of insanity, the fact that it gets 2 shots with it, and it's pretty cheap for what it does. But it does explode, and it has a 6+ invo save, which is always good. You always want that last invo save. Honestly, I like them. I like them a lot. I also like the way they look. Castellan robots are god tier. Like, they're just going to be good. They don't have core. They do have Cult Mechanicus. They do have Forge World. They still have their heavy phosphor blasters at 36-inch range, heavy 3, strength 6, AP -2, 1 damage. And then they have a special ability on it, so I need to come over behind the camera and read this special ability. Each time an attack is made with this weapon that does they don't receive the benefits of cover, of dense cover. Ooh, that's really cool. So that's 3, 6, and then they shoot, so 12, and then they have the one on top of them, so still the 36 shots each one is going to be insane. So again, they're just crazy with the amount of shots they get. The bread box looks pretty decent. Doesn't this thing have a las cannon too, I feel? No, it doesn't, which is weird. Just have a bunch of guns. And then, see anything else? Neutron laser is now D3 +3 blast, which is kind of crazy. We got blast on the missiles. Oh, and blast on the energy cannon. Okay. I love how the picture for that is just this dude back here. The transport looks okay. I've never seen anybody take these, and I feel like they're not that good. But that's just my opinion on them. I think with all the new teleporting abilities and the deep striking and the shenanigans you can pull, these things are ultimately pointless, especially being that you can take the drill, which is just better as a transport. The aircrafts are just still good, in my opinion. I really like the aircrafts. And then the last thing in here, oh, that's it. Just the flyers. And then we have all the points and everything, but you'll see this updated very soon, and all the new definitely take the Games Workshop app. and you'll see all these updates very soon. So yeah, that was the Adeptus Mechanicus Codex. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to say this. It doesn't seem broken yet. The main thing that I got out of this is that deploying scramblers is going to be incredibly easy with this army. And you might want to take midfield manipulation, as in you want to grab like objectives and try to control them over your opponent. And you're going to have a lot more maneuverability out of this codex than you did in previous codexes. Overall, I think it's really, really, really good. Agripinaa seems pretty decent. Metallica seems pretty decent. And so does Mars. I think Mars is going to be the winner out of this. And I'm really, really, really liking what they're doing with this codex. I think it's fantastic. They updated everything that they needed to, but nothing felt too out there and overpowered just yet. I'm going to have to derp around with this and see what builds I can do. But overall, I give this a fairly balanced codex. Like, it feels like it's in the same vein as Death Guard and Necrons, where it's not like grossly overpowered, but it's powerful. So let's see what they do with the next one. And I think the next codex is going to be Sisters of Battle and Orks. And then followed is going to be Thousand Suns and Grey Knights. So I'm really excited to see where this goes in the future. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to check out all the links in the description. Check out my Patreon and please support the channel. As always, I'm NornQueenAlexis. Love you guys. Bye.